Hi guys, it's Christine from Greater Health and Fitness. I am doing a blog today on one of my favourite things in the world, leggings. So we were talking about some being quite uncomfortable the other day. So when people were training, they were saying they were quite annoying, and pretty much everyone was sort of like this all the time. So I thought I'd just go through. I own a lot of leggings, I guess because I'm a trainer, I'm always wearing them. When I go out with my kids a lot of time, it's just more comfortable if I'm running around after them to wear leggings, and I just like them. So I have a lot. I have some that are more expensive, and then I've got a lot of cheaper ones too. So I pretty much just wanted to today just go through the different ones that I have, the different brands, and basically just let you guys know which ones I like and I find more comfortable. I guess so that you don't have to go out and, buy 10 different pairs to find out that half of them don't really fit very well or don't work. So I guess the one thing to note is that, when you are looking for leggings, some may suit me and some may not, for whatever reason, be comfortable on you. So of course it is a little bit of, different body types. Some would suit you better, but, there are some that there is a consensus. Like I was wearing the same as one of the other people, and we both said, yeah, it always does this particular type of leggings. It always does, it always rolls up and stuff. So I guess there are some that are a bit better than others, but always keep in mind, some will fit you better than they might me, and some will fit me better than they will you. The other thing is that, as much as you can say, this brand's really good or try this one, there's always styles that are different. So, for example, Lorna Jane, some of them are really, really good and really comfortable, and then it'll just be another style. They might have a different cut and they won't fit very well at all. So, even among one brand, you can get very, very different leggings, and sometimes they also change. So I've got some that are really old styles and some of them are really good, but the new ones that have replaced them now and that you can buy now aren't really very good. So, every time you buy them, you still need to be looking out for it. But I guess this is sort of my review of the ones that I have and the ones that I like. So I'll start with the ones that I'm wearing today. So these are the Nike ones. So I like these because they are quite comfortable. They've got a nice flat waistband. They don't have any sort of bulky. Some of them have a lot of bulk at the waist, but these are quite good. They also seem to just fit quite well, and the length for me is really good. So again, if you're shorter or taller, that may not be great for you, but for me it's like right at that sort of ankle. So it means that it's not too long and getting annoying, and it's also not too short, that especially when I'm outside, it gets cold. So that's these ones. The only thing that I found, and someone else saying they found as well with these ones, is that when you are doing actual exercise, like I know it's crazy doing exercise in leggings, who would have thought? But when you are, things like if you're sort of getting down on the floor, you might be doing something down here and then getting up, they do sort of flip over a little bit, and you really need to, I feel like I'm always sort of like pulling them up a little bit. So that's probably the downside. These probably aren't as comfortable around the waistband. Feels like for me, they need to actually just be a little bit higher, and then they would sort of fit a bit better, or maybe even a little bit lower. So it's just like, it feels like the waistband is sort of in an awkward middle point. But besides that, I really like them, and they're quite, these ones are a little bit, feel like they're a bit warmer than maybe some of my others too. So good for outdoor training. But that's these are the Nike ones. So the next one I'm looking at are the Target brand leggings. These are a bit of an older style. I think I got them last year. So they don't actually make this colour anymore, but they have obviously newer ones. I have a pair of those, but they're actually in the wash at the moment. So they do seem to be very similar sort of cut. So I quite like these ones. Again, they've got a nice soft waistband, and they're just quite comfortable to wear. They're at a good sort of length for me too. They're just sort of at that ankle. So I do quite like these. These ones are good because when I do, anything on the ground, they do sort of sit nicely and they don't roll over or bunch up or anything. The only thing I don't like about these is the actual material in the leggings. Maybe it's just a sizing problem, or maybe I've just worn them too many times, but they feel a little bit like loose. Some of the other leggings, like even the Nike ones, they feel a bit more, they're not compression leggings, but they feel a bit more compressed, whereas these feel really loose, and I feel like they're almost like sagging when I'm wearing them. So that's probably the only thing I don't really like about the Target brand ones, but otherwise I think they sit very, very nicely, and when you're moving around they don't really move. The other one is I also have these that are Target brand too, so these are just a shorter one. These are good too, they fit quite similarly, whatever that word is, they fit similar to these ones, but again they feel sort of loose or something on my leg because they sort of don't feel as supportive as your Nike or even some of the Kmart ones that I've had. So yeah, so all of these are good. I don't know, they're not my favourite in the world. I do have a newer pair, one pair that's sort of just out that I've seen in the shops. And they seem to be a little bit better. They seem to be a bit tighter. So I think that Target may be getting sort of better sort of leggings in, but I still think they're good, and especially for the price, these are good. But they're not my favourite fit in the world, either of these ones. The next ones that I'll move on to are these ones. These ones I actually really, really like. Not just because they're a bit more colourful than the others, but these are sort of, they've got the nice fitting waistband, and they also feel sort of tight on my legs rather than being quite loose sort of fit. So I do quite like these. These are from H&M. Again, they have different styles all the time. Their newer ones may not fit quite like this. I think I got this late last year, but I quite like these. They feel quite nice to move around in. They are a bit warm, so if it is a bit warmer weather or working out in a stuffy gym, I find these are a bit warm, and they don't really, like, they don't have any sort of moisture wicking or anything, so they sort of, you just feel a bit warm in them. But otherwise, you know, obviously if you're outside, they feel great. They've got the nice smooth waistband. I find that these ones are pretty good if you like doing things on the ground and then getting up again. They don't bunch up or anything. So I quite like these. But as I said, you know, they might have a slightly different fit now. H&M do change their styles a lot, so they may not fit quite as well. But, you know, if they're anything like these, then these are actually quite quite nice. I quite like wearing these ones. The next ones I'm going to look at are the cotton on body ones. So I have a few different pairs of these, and a few different, I've got some crop ones and some longer ones, some black ones, so a few different ones. I like these because I find these are most comfortable, and they're also pretty good value for money. I've had the black pair that I have of these, I've had for a long time. They're sort of getting a little bit old, so I sort of wear them more around the house. But, you know, I've had them, I don't know, a year, and they're still going pretty well. They still haven't come apart yet, so and I've worn them a lot. So that's why I quite like these. The only thing about these ones, I find that their waistband isn't quite as flat as the others. So it's got like elastic around here. So the elastic's good, but I find you don't really need to pull the elastic thing anyway. They'll sit on pretty well. So it just feels like there's this little bit of bulk sort of just around there that, I don't know, I don't really like it. I prefer the completely flat ones. These ones are good. They are quite comfortable. They're probably more, like, they're not quite as tight or compressing as some of the others. They can sometimes feel a little bit loose, but I found that when they start to feel like that is when they're sort of getting a bit old. So I got a new pair. So they should feel a bit tighter when they're new or newer. These ones are also really good. I find that when I get down and do anything on the ground, the waistband's high enough that it won't flip over, and it just doesn't, you know, get annoying like some of them. So I think that's because maybe it's slightly higher. The Nike ones, the waistband was a little bit more like there. So I think these ones are just a little bit higher. They're not high-waisted ones. I don't know if they sell them anymore, but a while ago I did get a black pair of these that were called high-waisted, and they were sort of more like up here. So I don't know if they have them anymore, but they used to have high-waisted ones. But I find these are high enough that they don't sort of, when you bend or do anything, they don't get annoying. They're just sort of at that good point, for me at least. And yeah, they're a good length, and they're just, I don't know, I just quite like the cotton on ones. And for me, these are probably my favourite ones to get. I guess some of the more expensive ones are very comfortable too, but I find like these are like $30. You can get a few pairs of these, and especially because I'm running boot camps outdoors, I prefer these because, well, if I get a hole in them or something, I'm not as upset at getting a hole in $30 ones rather than $100 ones. So that's pretty much these cotton on ones. All right, so the next ones, these are Kmart ones. So obviously I like them because they're like purple, but I used to have a black sort of pair like this, but they actually didn't last very long. So, but for the price, like these ones in particular were $15, so I'm not too worried that they don't last for like a year. And I guess that's the main downside with the Kmart ones. I do find that they don't last as well, and they do. It could just be these particular ones, but they do feel a little bit thin compared to some of the other, even the cotton on ones. These feel a little bit thin in comparison. But besides that, I find that these Kmart ones are actually quite a good fit. They've got a nice waistband, sort of a cross between the others and the cotton on one. So it's got the sort of a bit more chunkier sort of feel at the top, but it's nothing too bad. These ones I find are really good. They're actually a bit, for me at least, they're actually quite tight around there. So it means that when I'm doing anything, the waistband isn't going anywhere. The waistband is really like secure there. So they're not going to come down, or you're not going to have to worry about pulling them up. So I actually find, out of all of them, these are probably the best, well, at least this pair in particular, are probably the best at actually staying up. So that's the really good thing I like. But yeah, I find them just a little bit, I don't know, thin. So in the warm weather, these are great because obviously they're a bit breezy. But coming into winter, I don't think I'm going to wear these too much. Okay, so these are my last few. I'm not going to try these last two on. I'm basically just going to talk about them. So, this one is a pair just from Aldi. I've got a few other pairs from Aldi too. I find that they are quite comfortable, the waistband's quite nice, but again, I find these are quite thin and they don't really have much shape to them, so I find them almost a little bit baggy or something. They kind of, even though the waistband fits nicely, the rest of them don't really, fit as nicely. So, these aren't too bad, but I wouldn't really call these my favourite. The next one, these ones are actually quite good. These are from Rainbow Body. So I quite like these. They do fit quite nicely. The only thing, I suppose, with these is that you can only order them online. So I guess, personally, I like to be able to try things. I just got them because I really like the colour and I'm like, oh well, I'll just see how they go. But, I really do like trying them on in the store first. So that's really the only downside, that you really can't try them. But I quite like them, and I find, it does have this sort of pull like the cotton on ones do, so you can pull the waist in. But I find, unlike the cotton on ones, they're not quite as bulky, like the actual draw cord bit isn't that bulky, so I find these quite good. And they're also nice colours, so this is one of the colours. I guess I got this because purple, obviously, but they do have some really nice styles and designs in these ones, so I do quite like these. Rainbow Body, if you don't remember. So they've got a website so you can look there, and they pretty much have sales quite often. So they're really good. Last ones are here. So I guess as much as, they are expensive, the Lorna Jane ones are very good. They do fit very well and they are very supportive. So these ones, I've got some that I've had for about 4 years and they are still fine. So they're just starting to get, like, one's got a hole in it and that sort of thing, so I don't wear them as often. These are a newer one. So since I got them 4 years ago, they have improved the waistband, The waistband seems to be a bit higher again, so this one goes to pretty much my belly button. It's got the draw cord, but again, it's not very bulky of draw cord, so it still is quite flat. And they just fit nicely, like they're very, they're not loose, they're quite, they're tight. Like, I know it sounds funny, but they are. They feel like they just fit everything really well. And I can also move in them quite well. So, if I'm doing something on the floor, whatever I'm doing down here, when I get up, I don't have to adjust, I don't have to, it's, the waistband is in the same place when I actually got down the floor. So, you really, for comfort, I really can't go past them. And I do really like them the most. That's pretty much my review of leggings. So hopefully that sort of helps you so that you can sort of, when you're looking for them, you've got a few ones to try. As I said, they may fit me different to they fit you. So, I still recommend that you obviously go and try them before you buy them. But, it may also give you a few different ones to try. Maybe you've never tried cotton on body, so maybe now you can go do that. Anyway, that's all for today for my Friday blog. But if there is anything else that you want to ask, let me know. Otherwise, if you're training with me, I'll see you very soon. And have a wonderful Friday. Bye.